Last week, we told you about records the Washington Post obtained, reportedly showing the Trump legal team hired computer experts to breach voting machines following the 2020 election. This morning, the Post has a follow-up to that investigation, showing 2020 election system data from at least 2 states reportedly was shared with conspiracy theorists and right-wing election deniers. The Washington Post reports attorneys working to overturn the election, including Sidney Powell, hired a Georgia computer firm to put the sensitive information from Dominion voting machines onto a server. The data then was downloaded dozens of times. Among the downloaders were accounts associated with a Texas meteorologist who's appeared on Sean Hannity's radio show, a podcaster who suggested political enemies should be executed, a former pro surfer who has pushed disproven theories that the 2020 election was manipulated, and a self-described former seduction and pickup coach who claims also to have been a hacker. A cybersecurity expert told the Post copies of election software and other data could help people who are trying to compromise similar systems. Joining us now, investigative reporter at the Washington Post, John Swain. John, good to have you back with us this morning. I ask you the same question I asked you off your original story, which is, why do these people, these conspiracy theorists, or any private citizen, by the way, have access to voting machines? How did they get into these machines, and why were they allowed to?
It's a great question, and it's what people ask me when these stories come out. In Georgia, there was a case of a local elections official who believed Donald Trump's claims about the election being stolen. She allowed these people into the office, she told us, to copy files because she thought they could put the election right. In Michigan, in Antrim County, kind of quietly, without people noticing, this group of people obtained a court order from a judge who was a former Republican state Senate leader, a donor to Donald Trump. He issued a court order granting them access, and they arrived in Antrim County to collect forensic data there from the election machines.
So if I know the right person or I find the right official or judge, I can effectively hack into a voting machine and get all that data. So in this specific case that you're writing about in the new piece this morning, who were the people behind it and what were they up to exactly?
The firm behind this is a little-known Atlanta data forensics firm. It's named Sullivan Strickler. And basically after the election, Sidney Powell and an attorney for the Trump campaign hired this company. They charged so $20,000 or more per day for 4 of their team to go into these offices, copy these files. And without really people realizing it was happening at the time, they dispatched investigators from this firm to offices in Michigan, in Georgia, in Nevada, possibly in other states that we haven't yet learned about. And before people really realized what was happening, they had basically opened up these computers in these county offices. They copied disk images from election servers. They copied memory sticks with records of votes and ballots, all sorts of images which sort of go together to create state election systems. And typically, these are very tightly controlled. You know, you can only get access to these if you are entitled to it, if you are the county election supervisor, for example. And these people did not have that authorization. In Michigan, they had a court order. In Georgia, it's far less clear that they had the authority to actually go and do this. And the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has now opened a criminal investigation to see whether any crimes were committed when they sort of interfered with potentially this computer system.
Yeah, John, I've spent time with election officials down in Georgia, and like you say, I mean, to get into the room where the voting machines are being held, you have to have a special badge. Only certain people are allowed in there. It's kept in, it's under very close control. To get into the building itself, you have to be registered. So it's not like you can waltz in and make away with kind of any sort of computer. What's been done since these breaches were found to ensure that security is tightened even further so that Americans heading into 2024 can be reassured that in Michigan and Georgia the computer systems are actually solid and regular and as they should be and have not been tampered with?
I think what we're seeing in these states is that the state secretary of states and attorney generals have sort of gotten wise to the possibility, the potential that people loyal to Donald Trump, people who believe conspiracy theories about the election being stolen, may try to get into these offices. And so we're seeing messages sent out to county offices, municipal offices, to remind them, I think, of the security protocols guarding these machines, reminding them who is entitled to access them and who is not. I think the states weren't really quick to realize that this was going on in small rural counties where, you know, not many people vote, but the machines that they use there could tell these people about machines used elsewhere. So I think the state authorities are really stepping in now and sort of trying to seize back control and oversight of who is getting access to these machines.
Just remains staggering as I read all your reporting that people can get that close and get information out of voting machines. The Washington Post, John Swain, thanks for bringing us your latest investigation. We appreciate it.